Hey, what's up everybody, Retro Gaming Guy here. Today in this video we're going to unbox, demo, and review Kris Coolmod's latest RetroBeast build. This is the RetroBeast 2TB light gun setup. So we're going to unbox this. Let's dive into it. Alright guys, here is the box I received this in. This actually had additional packaging, but that had my address on it. So this is the box within. Yet to open this, so let's dive in, see what's waiting for us inside. So it is nicely padded in here, which is always a good thing. All right, so we've got what looks like, I believe this is a decal here. Yes, decal right there. And some additional stickers. What do we have here? Sweet, a bunch of decals, awesome. Love his graphics too. I love the retro sort of vibe and colors that he's got going on. So got those. Now this right here is a limited edition Marvel Miles Morales Spider-Man drive. So this is the 2TB drive that everything is set up on. Now I do want to make mention of this because Kris Coolmod has a special offer for anybody that sees this review video right here. If you are one of the first 20 people to place an order from watching this video and you send him Retro Guys as your code, he's going to give you one of these limited edition Spider-Man Miles Morales drives right here, right now. So only 20 of these, ready to go. So only for the first 20 people that see this exact video right here will get access to this drive when they order the Kris Coolmod RetroBeast light gun setup. So let's go ahead and open this up. So we got some tape right up here. But this is definitely a sharp setup. There we go. And we got some additional stickers in here. Marvel stickers, Seagate Gaming, Firecuda, awesome. Very well packaged in here as well. But here you can see we have our external Seagate game drive. So this right here has Spider-Man on here. We are ready to go. So this has our Spider-Man graphic on here. Really nicely put together. Spider-Man logo on the back side. Really sharp. Definitely loving the vibe from that. Packaging on here is exceptional as well. And this right here, which is a braided cable. Always good to see a braided cable. That's how we're going to connect this over to our PC. So this end goes in just like that. Other end is a USB connection. So you can plug this into your PC's USB port and you will get access directly to this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here, right now. We're going to plug this in and we're going to launch this sucker and see what is waiting for us on the other side. Guys, so here we are fully loaded into the Kris Coolmod 2TB RetroBeast light gun setup. So we're going to take an in-depth dive into every single collection that this offers. Check out, exactly what to expect on this. So buckle up. It's going to be, pretty extensive tour throughout this. So first and foremost, we have the light gun collection. As we jump into this right off the bat, so let's enter into this collection. Let's see what is offered within. So we have this broken up a couple different ways. You could dive straight into your all games list. That's going to be your master list, or you can go into individual collections. So let's go into the master list and just get an idea as to what the setup is like in here. So let's jump in here. And inside here, you're going to have all your light gun games. You can see we're looking at one of 367 games within this collection alone. And everything's in alphabetical order. So this one is 2 Spicy, 2 being the number, not TOO, even though it says both right there. So that's why that's in first. And then we also have right behind that 3-in-1 Super Gun for NES. So you can see everything is nicely put together in alphabetical order. I'm actually going to scroll upwards. You can obviously go whatever direction, but Zombie Raid is an amazing light gun game right here. Love this classic game. So we can scroll up and you can see how everything populates in. And I love the layout here. I love that we get a logo on the right hand side. It's very easy to read. And then as it populates in, we have the logo again in the center. We have a video preview in the background. We have box art on the left-hand side. And then for the ones that don't have box art, because this was I believe this was a Thomas Wave, if I'm not mistaken, You just have the logo, on the right-hand side in the center of your screen, and then you have a larger area, of course, for the video preview. So very nice layout here. Just reads well. It's easy to navigate. We have, later light gun games like this one right here, Wild West Shootout. If you haven't played this, play it. It's awesome. It's like a throwback game, but it's more modern day graphics that was for Nintendo Wii. So lots of good stuff. And then it goes obviously as far back as NES, where a lot of these light gun games really began, at least for, what most of us remember anyways. There's some older stuff than even that. So let's jump through here a little bit. And I don't want to spend too much time going through this specific collection because we're going to go into each individual one. So we've got Virtual Cop 3, which a lot of people don't know about. That was available for Xbox, and I believe that's probably the version that we're going to have here. I'll have to double check that as we go into these collections, but we have Virtual Cop 1 and 2. There are some duplicates, but that's just because there's different versions of them. It's not just a straight up duplicate, it's a different console version, which I'm totally okay with. So I'm confident that you're going to kind of go down memory lane. You're going to find stuff like Trophy Hunting for me, Baron Moose. Awesome game. I don't play it a whole hell of a lot, and I actually would have forgotten about it, but it's fun to just go down memory lane here and re-experience things that, I haven't thought about in a long time. The Typing of the Dead. Very different style game, but really a nice twist on, the House of the Dead. So we've got some really great stuff here. Of course, we've got the Time Crisis games, and we've got all of them. We've got Time Crisis, Raising Storm, we've got Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 4, Time Crisis 3. We've got Crisis Zone up here. We've got Project Titan. We've got the PlayStation version of Time Crisis. So lots of great stuff going on here. So I'm actually going to back out of this collection again because we're going to see all of this stuff broken down collection by collection. So let's back out of this. And if you're using a keyboard, you can navigate everything pretty much with your arrow keys. So to back out, I'm just hitting the arrow key left, and then I'm hitting enter to go into each of these collections. Now, you don't have to use a keyboard. You can use a controller if you want to use a regular gamepad controller. You can use your light gun if you want to. You have lots of different options for navigating this. So let's go down. Here we have MAME light gun games. This is probably going to be your most popular collection. This is probably what most of us remember as those, super popular light gun games. So let's jump into this collection right here. There's 91 games within here. So we kick everything off with Alien 3 The Gun, which is a rail shooter. Absolutely love this game. We've got Area 51. We've got the Area 51 duo cabinet with maximum force. That's what I grew up playing right there. It was when you would put your coins in, you would be able to choose between which side you wanted to go into. Did you want to play Area 51? Did you want to play maximum force? Lots of different options there, obviously. So we've got Bang, we've got Big Buck Hunter, 2006 Call of the Wild, Big Buck Hunter, Shooter's Challenge. We've got lots of great stuff, and I'll just kind of scroll through here. I'll try to go quickly, just so we don't eat up a ton of time, because there's a lot to see on this setup. Carnival, classic game. Spent a lot of time getting that game running on Batocera recently. Catch 22. Let's see, we've got Cheyenne, Chiller, Claybuster, lots of great stuff. Crypt Killer, that's taking it way back as well. Deer Hunting USA, and there's a lot of hunting games here. Gotta have your duck hunt in the house. Love how that populates in. Egg Ventures, another great one. So lots of good stuff in here, and I'll keep it moving. We're only to G right now, and everything's in alphabetical order, so you can imagine how extensive this is. Judge Dredd, this is an amazing game, and to have the arcade version of it is awesome. I've actually had a hard time getting this version running, believe it or not. I've actually been playing the PlayStation version of this, which is definitely not the ideal way to go, but I spent a lot of time on this cabinet as a kid in the arcade too. Jurassic Park, another great rail shooter. We've got Lethal Enforcers, Gunfighters here. That's the Western one. We've got the original Lethal Enforcers here. Love that game. Lethal Justice is in the house. Laser Ghost. I mean, this is so much of my childhood here. We've got the Maximum Force standalone version right here. So if you didn't want to go into the one that is set up alongside Area 51, you can hit it on its own. One Shot, One Kill is a good one. Classic. Operation Wolf 3, Operation Wolf, Operation Thunderbolt, Police Trainer. Now this is one I want to jump into because Police Trainer is going to give us, a great idea of what the controls are like on here, and I'm going to test this out with a couple different guns today. We're going to try the gun for IR as well as the retro shooters, and I just love this game because there's so many different tests within there. It's basically like a simulation police training game, so you can do accuracy testing, speed testing, all that good stuff. Revolution X, another classic rail shooter. This was the Aerosmith video game, really a lot of fun. Steel Gunner 1 and 2, just the list goes on and on here. T2 Judgment Day. Doesn't get any more classic than that. We've got Time Crisis, the original version, again, arcade version in the house. We've got, what, Turkey Shoot over here, Turkey Hunting USA, Tut's Tomb, Under Fires over here. Lots of great stuff. And then we're back to where we started. So I'm going to back out of this collection. Let's hit the next one, Arcade Gunner. So this one is going to be some more modern day titles, or, you know, not super modern, but more recent than what we were just diving into. So let's jump in here. Let's see what we've got. So we've got Dark Escape 4D, and we've got this one right here, which seems to be in another language. I'm not sure exactly what that one is, but judging by the preview in the background, the graphics are quite good on here. So I'm just kind of taking it in at the moment. Not sure what that's all about. I'm sure somebody watching this would know, but for me, not familiar with it. This one right here, let's see what this is. Looks like a Walking Dead sort of scary game, I'm not sure. Dark Escape 4D though. Definitely looks like advanced graphics, so again, much more recent than what we've seen so far. So I'm going to back out. I don't want to kill too much time, but definitely be checking that out at some point. Next collection down, we've got our Atari XE. So let's jump in here, see what we've got. So we don't have a ton of games in here, but Barnyard Blasters in here, Bug Hunt, Crime Buster, and Crossbow. Now I am familiar with Crossbow, and I believe Barnyard Blaster I've played as well. So we'll back out of this one. Next one is a Thomas Wave. Now this one I really do enjoy. So we're gonna find probably a lot of hunting games in here. Sega Clay Challenge is a good one. Ranger Mission, another good one. Sport Shooting, good. Extreme Hunting 2, Extreme Hunting, nice. And I've actually played quite a few of these. Let's back out, go down to the next one. We've got Dreamcast. I'm a big Dreamcast fan. Now there's not a ton of like-on games for Dreamcast. There's a good handful, and they're all awesome. That's the good news there. It's not extensive, but they're all awesome titles. We've got Confidential Mission, one of my favorites. Death to Crimson's in here. Death Crimson OX. We've got The House of the Dead 2. Sega Smash Pack, which I'm not familiar with. Virtua Cop 2. And we're back to where we started, Confidential Missions. We're back out of this one. Next one down is going to be Sega Genesis. So another one that's not going to be super deep, but what we've got in here should be pretty awesome. So we've got Body Count over here. We've got Gunfight 3-in-1, Lethal Enforcers Gunfighters. And again, these are the Genesis versions, so you'll notice that graphically they're quite different than what we've seen on the, arcade versions. T2 as well, much more pixelated, very much a home console vibe, but if this is how you played the game as a kid, this is what you're going to gravitate towards. So for me, it's the arcade version every time, but for some people that were more into home consoles than arcades, this would be what you want to play. So we'll back out, we'll go into the next one. Over here, let's see what we've got. Not sure I'm familiar with this, so it looks like we've just got one title in here. Yep, so this is Brave Firefighters. Not at all familiar with this, but it looks like a sort of firefighter simulation game. Maybe it doesn't look that old graphically, so I'll have to check this out. Looks pretty cool. We'll back out of that one. Next one down, Sega Master System over here. And how many games in here? 12 games. We've got Assault City. We've got Gangster Town, which I've played this one. Hang On and Safari Hunt. Lots of good stuff here. Then we've got these versions of Operation Wolf. Rambo 3, another great game. Now for me, again, it's going to be, rather than this version, I would prefer the arcade version, but I'm sure we have that as well. We've got Space Gun down here. Lots of good stuff. We'll back out of this collection. Next one, Sega Model 2. Now, look at how crisp those graphics are right there. Let's dive into this one. So we're going to get some really amazing games here. This is one of my favorite collections personally. So we've got Behind Enemy Lines. If you haven't played this, play it. It's awesome. Gunblade, Special Air Assault Force New York. And there's a couple versions of this one right here. House of the Dead. This is graphically the best version of House of the Next one is House of the Dead. I think this is one of everybody's favorites. And this is graphically the best version of this game. You can get into it a bunch of different ways, but this has the best graphics in my opinion. Next one down, we have Rail Chase 2. Awesome rail shooter game. Virtual Cop 1 and 2, again, probably the best versions to get into graphically. You can get into them on a wide range of consoles or console collections, but this one's probably going to be your best one graphically. Arcade is always going to be your best choice. So next one is Sega Model 3. Now in here, we're going to find some games that I don't necessarily consider to be true light gun games. This one right here, Star Wars, one of my favorite games of all time. But, not really your classic, light gun sort of game, but still awesome nonetheless. And you can certainly play it with light gun controllers. So let's jump in here. So we have LA Machine Guns, awesome game. We've got the Ocean Hunter, which is an underwater sort of diving shooting game. Really a lot of fun. Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, again, one of my favorites. And then we've got the Lost World Jurassic Park as well. So that's going to conclude this collection. It's short, but it's fierce. It's absolutely stacked. Every one of these games is absolutely amazing. Next one down, we've got, what do we have in here now? I'm definitely psyched to see what we have in this one. I believe this, yeah, so 3 titles in here, AD Cop Overseas Mission, and Bon Bon Paradise. So I'm not familiar with any of these actually, but definitely look pretty cool. I'll have to familiarize myself with these. Next one down, Naomi. So we may get some crossover between this and Dreamcast, as we typically do. Let's see what we've got going on in here. We've got Confidential Mission. So we do have that in the other one. Death Crimson OX. We've got the House of the Dead 2. We've got, I forget what this one's called. It's all in what looks like, I assume, Japanese here, but this game's awesome. I recently got into this actually, and I'm blanking on the actual name, and doesn't seem to be translated on here right now, but awesome game here. Definitely check it out. Manic Panic Ghosts. We've got the Maze of Kings. Now this is another one, really amazing. Got a mummy vibe to it. So like if you like the mummy movies, this is very similar to that. Ninja Assault, another great one here. The Typing of the Dead, which is a nice twist on the House of the Dead. This you actually use, rather than actually shooting, what it does is it populates in, I'll see if we can actually see it. Let me go back to it and I think it'll load in. It'll give you words, right, that you have to type in. So you use a keyboard for this. So right there it says like Kami, maybe some K-A-M-I it looked like. I could be misreading that. You would have to type that in as quickly as possible. And then the more advanced it gets, the further you get into the game. So right here it looks pretty basic, but when you get towards the end or when you have to play a boss, it'll give you like entire sentences that you have to type in. You have to type them in as quickly as you can. So if you're somebody that's good at typing, and the video preview there looks like it's in another language, but if you're somebody that is great at typing, you will have a blast playing that game. If you're a slow typer, you might want to just skip it entirely. Let's back out. We have NES. Let's jump into NES, see what that's all about. So 36 titles in here. Definitely some classic ones. Let's go down to what I think we're all looking for here. We've got some Crime Busters. We've got Daydream and Davy, but this is what everybody loves, right? Duck Hunt. And there's multiple versions. We saw one earlier when we were going through the master list, the all games list, but really a lot of fun. Hogan's Alley, another classic one right here. Laser Invasion's cool. Now, Lethal Weapon, I don't know if I'd consider that a light gun game, but I'm a massive Lethal Weapon fan, so I'm not mad at it being in here at all. We've got the Lone Ranger over here. Lots of great stuff. Then the Operation Wolf version for NES, of course. Shooting Range over here. Lots of really great stuff. So let's back out of this one. And we'll take it back over here to, next one down is PlayStation. So this is your original PlayStation. Let's jump in here. How many titles? 36 titles. So we've got Area 51. We've got Crypt Killer. We've got Die Hard Trilogy. Whoops, held it down a little too long. Die Hard Trilogy. This one is Die Hard Trilogy 2 Viva Las Vegas. This one, I'm having trouble actually reading that. Not sure what that one was. This is, oh wow. See what I mean? Sometimes you go down memory lane, you forget about stuff. This is the Ghostbusters light gun game for PS1, The Ultimate Invasion. Really a lot of fun here. I haven't played that in a good 25 years, I bet. Gunfighter, The Legend of Jesse James, another cool one that a lot of people forget about. But lots of great stuff here. Judge Dredd. Now this is what I was talking about before. I prefer, you can see graphically, it's, you know, definitely inferior compared to the original arcade version, but certainly a great game here too. Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2 combined. We have Maximum Force. We've got Mighty Hits Special. Lots of good stuff here. Point Blank 1 and 2 and 3. Rescue Shot over here. Resident Evil Survivor. Revolution X, the Aerosmith game. So lots of great stuff. And then we get some Rebel Assault 2 from Star Wars, but Time Crisis 1, as well as Project Titan. Project Titan is drastically underrated in the Time Crisis franchise, so definitely check that out. And then we've got Wanted here as our last game in PS1. So let's back out. Next one is PS2. This is going to be another short collection, but every game in here is amazing. So PS2, we've got 14 games. That's actually more than I was expecting. Death Crimson OX, which we have multiple versions of. We've seen those already. Dino Stalker is awesome. Endgame over here, really cool. We've got Guncom 2, Gunfighter 2, and we just saw the original one in PS1. Ninja Assault, which we can get into on a couple different collections. Resident Evil Dead Aim, Resident Evil Survivor 2, Code Veronica, Starsky and Hutch, which I'm not sure that's really I guess it's sort of can be a light gun game. Got a little bit of everything going on in that though. They kind of cover all different types of gaming. Time Crisis, Crisis Zone. We've got Time Crisis 3, Time Crisis 2, which is my favorite in the franchise. Vampire Knight over here. We've got Virtual Cop Elite Edition. And we are back to where we started. So we're back out of this collection, keeping it moving. We've got PS3. I think there's only 3 titles in here. Yep. So this one, Dead Storm Pirates, I'm not familiar with. I've never played this. I believe I've actually seen the cabinet for this back in the day. This is obviously a different version, but I've never actually played this myself, so I'm psyched to actually dive into this. And then Time Crisis 4 I've definitely played, and then Time Crisis Raising Storm I've played as well, both of which I think I've played here on the channel, but awesome to have them, you know, included in here. So let's back out of PS3. We've got Sega CD over here. So let's jump into Sega CD. 8 titles in here. Corpse Killer. Now this is taking it back old school. Crime Patrol, Lethal Enforcers, you know, 1 and 2. We've got Mad Dog 2, Mad Dog McCree, Snatcher, Who Shot Johnny Rock, and then we were back to Corpse Killer. So we'll back out of this one. Keep it moving. Now this one is, I'm not familiar what this is. Is this Sing 2 or Singe 2? I'm not sure what this is in all honesty. I am familiar with this title as I am this title, but yeah, I don't think I'm not familiar with this. Oh wow, I'm familiar with these titles, but okay. Last Bounty Hunter over here, Mad Dog 2, Platoon. It's definitely some interesting stuff. It's just you know, stuff I'm just not familiar with the actual collection as a whole. So we'll back out of this one, keeping it moving. What is this one here? This is Super Nintendo light gun games. So what do we have for this one? 16 titles. I didn't think it would be that many. Bazooka Blitzkrieg, The Hunt for Red October. Nice. I'm not sure if that's a true light gun game. Lamborghini American Challenge, not sure if that's a true light gun game, but we've got some great stuff in here as well. And we also have this version of, you know, the Revolution X, the Aerosmith game. Sheen's Revenge, Some T2 over here. We have Super Scope 6. That takes me back. Yoshi's Safari. Pretty cool one. And that takes us back to the beginning. So let's back out of that one. We have Techno Parrot, which is one of the most interesting collections in here. What I'm actually most excited about, because I haven't done much with Techno Parrot myself. So I'm stoked to actually dive in here and test this out. So let's see what we've got included. So we've got Too Spicy over here, which graphically looks amazing. I've never played it, but it looks absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna definitely put that on my list. We've got America's Army over here. We've got Aliens Armageddon. Love this game. We've got Aliens Extermination. Love this game as well. And in fact, I forgot about both of these because I've been diving into Alien 3D Gun so much. We've got Big Buck Hunter Pro Home. We've also got the regular Big Buck Hunter Pro over here. So awesome titles from Raw Thrills, who I'm a big fan of. Love everything that they've created over the last, probably 20 years now. Got some Castlevania over here, the arcade game. Never played that. Elevator Action, Death Parade. Just looking at the little preview over there on the right-hand side. Graphically looks amazing. Next one down is Elevator Action Invasion. We've got Far Cry over here, which this is a really cool experience here. If you've never played this, check it out. We've got Friction. Not familiar with this one myself. Sega Golden Gun, that looks pretty cool. Lots of stuff I'm not familiar with in here. Ghost Squad Evolution. I've played that, never played it all the way through though. We've got, what's that? Mobile Suit Gundam Spirits of Xeon. Not familiar with that. Haunted Museum. Looks like a kind of very similar to Maze of Kings. The House of the Dead 4. House of the Dead 4 Special. House of the Dead EX. House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn. Now these are games that I didn't even know there was this many House of the Dead games. Infinity Blade FX. Jurassic Park Arcade. So this is another Raw Thrills game. This is amazing. I've never played this through emulation, only played it at like Dave & Buster's on the, rail shooter arcades. Big fan again though of what Raw Thrills has put together over the years. So psyched to actually enjoy it this way with an actual light gun. Lethal Enforcers 3 over here. So we saw other versions of this. This graphically looks absolutely incredible. We've got Let's Go Island 3D. Very cool looking game there. Actually, I've played this game. I don't remember where, but I've definitely played that game. Another game that's very similar. Now, Lost Land Adventure. Really cool game here as well. Luigi's Mansion Arcade. I've never even knew this existed. See what I mean? You're always just finding new things with setups like this. Operation Ghost over here. Another great one. Police Trainer 2. Never knew that this existed. That looks like Police Trainer right there. But definitely like a little spin on it, obviously. Primeval Hunt. Looks like a Jurassic Park style game. Now Rambo. I have been dying to play this game. I played this once a long time ago. I've been dying to get back into this. So this game right here is a big part of what I'm most excited about, in all honesty. This looks amazing. Look at, just graphically, it's not that old of a game either. I forget when it came out, but I want to say late 2000s. So definitely, especially for Rambo, it's a big difference from Rambo 3, for example, but really awesome. Dream Raiders, graphically amazing as well. Silent Hill the Arcade. Check this one out, Star Trek Voyager. So you don't have to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy this game. This is a lot of fun. Target Terror Gold. I believe this is the biggest release for Raw Thrills as well. So stoked to get into this one. I've played this on Wii, but never like the arcade version. We've got Terminator Salvation. Love this game. And again, that's a Raw Thrills and Play Mechanics game. Wartran. I jumped ahead. Transformers. Human Alliance. Never played this either. Looks incredible. Wartran Troopers. Never played this, looks awesome as well. So that's going to conclude Techno Parrot, all light gun games in here, but we're not even done yet. We've got 2 more collections within the light gun section here. So Wii Light Gun. Now I'm a big Wii Light Gun fan. In fact, I experienced a lot of these games recently through emulation because I didn't play a lot on the original Wii console. So we kick everything off here with Arcade Shooting Gallery. We've got Attack of the Movies 3D, which is actually a lot of fun. Certainly not one of the most popular Wii games, but a lot of fun. Cabela's Adventure Camp. We don't seem to have a preview for this one, but the Cabela's games are pretty cool. African Adventures, Big Game Hunter over here. And these are kind of like third-person hunting games, but you can actually zoom in as well. So it's definitely pretty cool to have all these. You can see there's tons of hunting games in here. Cabela's North American Adventures, Outdoor Adventures, Survival, Shadows of Katmai, I assume that's pronounced. Chicken Blaster, lots of fun, great for the kids. Chicken Riot. The Conduit is awesome as well. Dead Space Extractions, cool. Dino Strike. Toy Story Mania. Now, I've never played this, but I think my kids would love this. My son is a massive Toy Story fan, so I'll have to check that out with him. Ghost Squad over here, really a blast. That's very similar to like a Time Crisis. GoldenEye 007. I play this game a lot on PS3. Haven't played it much over here, but definitely looking forward to that. Gunblade. We've got Gunslingers. This is like a throwback Western style, cartoony light gun game. Really a blast though. I've played all the way through this multiple times. Love this one. Heavy Fire of Afghanistan. Gotta check this out. This is one of the most underrated games for Nintendo Wii. Jurassic the Hunted. Lots of fun here. Link's Crossbow Training. A lot of people don't know that this game even exists. This is a light gun Zelda game. Definitely check this out. Martian Panic. Not at all familiar with this. Let's see if it gives us an actual gameplay demo here, or if it's just this kind of menu screen that we get. But I like Martian games. If it's got that like what was that Martian movie that Tim Burton did? I'm blanking on that. Nerf. These are really fun games. Next, after Nerf and Strike, we have Championship Paintball. We've got Reload over here, which is a great one. We've got the Remington hunting games. These are absolutely amazing, very similar to Big Buck Hunter, but a little different twist on them. And you can get different areas with different games, different species as well that you'd be hunting. We got some Resident Evil titles here. Sin and Punishment is a fun one. Sniper Elite, Target Terror, which I talked about a little bit earlier. And then we have over here the House of the Dead Overkill, which is amazing. House of the Dead 2 and 3. We've got Top Shot Arcade. We've got Wild West Shootout. And then we start over from where we started. So let's back out of this collection. We have one more to dive into. This one's going to be short. There's like 3 or 4 titles in Xbox, if I remember correctly. There we go. We've got 4 in here. So we've got the original Silent Scope. We've got Silent Scope 2, which is Dark Silhouette. We've got Silent Scope 3, and we've got Virtua Cop 3. So lots of great options in here. These games are an absolute blast to play. Love that game right there, though. I love how we can zoom in on Dark Silhouette. You can do that on all the Silent Scope games, but that one and this one over here graphically are just absolutely out of this world. So let's back out of this collection, and we're going to get out of the light gun section altogether. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, isn't this whole thing light gun? Well, there's some additional stuff on here too. So what's really cool is if you were going to put this build into like an arcade cabinet, you can play all your light gun games, but you can actually get access to tons of additional arcade games too. So we have a main collection here. This is going to have light gun games, but it's also going to have regular games. So let's jump in here and see what we've got. So take a look at the account up there in the top left corner. Now I was in here earlier, that's why it's just resuming me where I left off before, but this is alphabetical order. We're on game 50 of 3,637. That's a massive name collection here. So you can get a feel for what is offered in here. There's tons and tons and tons of great stuff. And you're gonna find your light gun games in here as well, but you'll also find so much more. You can see as we just scroll through, and I'm not gonna, announce every single game. We'd be here till tomorrow, but take a quick tour through here. You can see we've got classic Aladdin in here. We've got a bunch of different Alien games. We got Alien versus Predator. I mean, that's pretty damn classic right there. Now, I am a big fan of. Let me just shout out a couple of these games because I haven't gone this far in here. I am a massive fan of Indiana Jones. Like, everybody that watches my channel knows that. So I'm going to look in here and see if we have some Indiana Jones, because we should. We should have some Indiana Jones games in here. Well, we should have the Temple of Doom arcade. And what else do I like? I like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. That's an awesome game. And there's actually, well, there's different versions of it, but for arcade, it's the best version, as I've said throughout this video. Always the case. So I'm going to scroll down. I'll jump ahead a little bit for you guys, or you guys could take the quick tour through all these with me. But what we're going to do is I'm going to just hold this. Take a look at this. We've got Cruisin' USA, and this is the arcade version of this. This is not the N64 version. This is the arcade version. We've got Cruisin' World over here, the arcade version. So a lot of times we'll jump into classic games, or I mean, at least I will. I'll jump into those games because I love them so much, but I'm playing the N64 version. And for anybody that doesn't know about these games, the arcade version is very different. There actually is some, I don't want to say provocative, but slightly more provocative things. There's a end scene to this particular game here that's absolutely amazing with Bill and Hillary Clinton. So definitely check out, even if you're already playing some of these games, but you're playing different versions, check out the arcade versions. You're going to find some interesting stuff in a lot of them, because a lot of times the ported versions of them, were altered considerably, especially if Nintendo had any involvement. Nintendo loved to switch up things, on original versions of games and kind of dumb them down a little bit. So I'm going to hold this down and I'll kind of skip ahead for you guys so you don't have to, hang out for the full duration here. But we're looking for Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and we're looking for Indiana Jones. And you know what? I'm going to throw WrestleFest into the mix here too, because I'm a huge WrestleFest fan. I want to make sure all three of these are in here, because I want to be confident that we have a lot of classic games in here that maybe people aren't necessarily going to be searching out. Oh, wait. Oh, yes. Now, look down here. We've got Gauntlet Legends, my all-time favorite game. We've got the arcade version. The arcade version is very different than the console versions. So I'm totally on board with this now. They won me over just on this alone. Not they, Kris Coolmod won me over on that alone. I saw the golden tees over here as well. All right, it's going to take me forever to get down here because I keep finding amazing games that I'm just so into. All right, here we are. We've got Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which is what I was hoping for. I'm actually building an Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom arcade cabinet right now, so this is huge for me. Let's keep it moving though. And what do you know? We've got Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. So Kris Coolmod is doing great so far. What we got to see is WWF WrestleFest on here. I'm sure it is, but that is the final test to make sure that this collection is truly complete. I'm going to scroll all the way down. We're going to go all the way to the bottom of this list because it would be under W. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, yes, sir. We've got NFL Blitz and the NBA Showtime NBA on NBC dual cabinet here. And I see right after that we do have NBA Showtime NBA on NBC by itself, but this right here is what I played in the arcade all the time. It was the dual version here where you could pick what side you wanted to play on. So I am so into this now because I'm literally just like reliving my childhood experience here. All right, let's go down and we got to see if WWF WrestleFest is here. And I just saw the NFL Blitz games. There are all three of these. So I have the NFL Blitz arcade 1-up cabinet. It has all three of these as well. I could put this inside of that, mod it out. I'm going to do that, in fact. And that's what I'm turning into the Indiana Jones cabinet. But I'm going to get the 3 games that are on there now, plus all of this. So, home run right there. All right, guys, look what we've got here. We've got not only WWF WrestleFest, which I see is the next one. We've got WWF Superstars, amazing game. WWF WrestleFest, my all-time favorite. And then we also have WrestleMania. So we've got tons and tons of wrestling games here, all classics. We've got also, I see the X-Men games down here. So take a look at the X-Men games. Love playing these in the arcade back in the day. So, all right, we got to get out of this. We got to keep it moving. I know I spent way too much time diving into all this, but it's a huge part of what is being offered here. Next one down, we have Techno Parrot. Well, we already jumped into Techno Parrot, right? Well, let's jump in here again, because this isn't just light gun games. We've got even more. We've got all the Techno Parrot games that are available. Afterburner, Climax right here. We've got tons and tons of amazing games. We've got the Alien games, which we've already seen. I'm not familiar with all of these fighting games, but we've got Batman here, which was a Raw Thrills game as well. This is a racing game. You can see a little picture of it there on the back of the box art of the actual arcade cabinet. This is a blast to play. I've spent a lot of time in the arcade playing this game. Not terribly old. I want to say this is maybe like 10, 15 years old. We've got Battle Gear 4 over here. Big Buck Hunter Pro, which we saw before, but still awesome game. And they've made that into the arcade 1-up cabinet as well. Blazing Angels is a blast. There's some games in here like this one. I'm not familiar with Border Break, Scramble. There's definitely some in here that I'm not familiar with, but let's see what we've got here for Disney, Pixar, Cars. I think I've played this for, maybe it was Wii, but not this particular version. We've got Castlevania over here. I think we saw that one before. Now, this is a fun one. Chase HQ2, graphics, amazing on there. We've got, what else do we have here? Some Contra Evolution. Counter-Strike Neo. I actually remember this game. Was never good at it. And we've got to have Daytona Championship USA New Season Edition here. Love the Daytona games. We've got Dead Heat over here. We've got Dead Heat Riders, which is the motorcycle version. Deal or No Deal. Played that for Nintendo Wii. Dirty Drivin'. Not familiar with that one. Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate Arcade. Dead or Alive 6. Dragon Dance. Not familiar with that. We saw these before. Awesome. Far Cry is a blast. That looks graphically pretty sweet. Oh wow, Guitar Hero Arcade. I was just playing this actually when I was in Vegas last, over at the Pinball Hall of Fame. This is an awesome way to play the game. Race Driver Grid. Ghost Squad Evolution. GTI Club. There's 157 games here. I mean, we're a third of the way through this. H2 Overdrive, wow. I think I've played that for Dreamcast. Haunted Museum, we saw that before. House of the Dead 4, with the House of the Dead games in here, of course. Hot Wheels, King of the Road. Hummer Extreme Edition. So a lot of racing games in here, which is awesome. And then, of course, the Jurassic Park Arcade. We've got Justice League, Heroes Unite. Not familiar with that, but I'm definitely going to be diving into that. All right. Wait. Sorry, I got distracted. All right. KO Drive. Lethal Enforcers 3. Saw these in the light gun section. Lost Land Adventure is a great one. Luigi's Mansion Arcade. I'm stoked to dive into this, as I've never experienced that. This looks interesting. Mario Kart Arcade. I didn't even know there was a Mario Kart Arcade. This just gets better and better and better and better. Not familiar with this either, but wow, I'm all about it. Nitro Blasters. Outrun. Now, here we go. I love this game, and I just played this recently as well. at the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. So great stuff in here. And we're still only at 100 out of 157, so we got to keep it moving. But I told you guys, buckle up. This was going to be a long one. Radical. Oh, wow. Love this game. That takes me back. I wish there... Oh, there it is. There's the preview. So you're on like a scooter in this, and you're delivering pizzas. Wow, that takes me back. I wouldn't even know what to type in for this. I remember playing it back in the day. It kind of has like a Top Skater vibe to it, but love this game. That's so cool. This is what I'm talking about, going down memory lane. You find stuff that you haven't played in decades that, in this case, I didn't even remember the title of the game. This is so much fun. Definitely Top Skater and Crazy Taxi vibes to it. Raiden 2, Rambo again, Rampage World Tour. Look at the graphics on this. So much different than, you know, what I think we're all thinking of when we think Rampage World Tour, right? Completely different experience here. Ring Riders. Not familiar with that one. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, Arcade Edition. Never knew about that either. Sega Race TV. Don't know that one. So many things that I don't know about. Showdown, awesome game. Silent Hill, the arcade. Haven't played that, but looks awesome. Sonic Dash Extreme. Sonic Dash Extreme. Got Spider-Man over here. Nice. Got some SpongeBob Bikini Bottom Bowling. My kids will love that. Sega Rally 3. Recently played this. Not this version though. Sega Racing Classic. Storm Racer 6. Sonic All-Star. Love this game, and I actually play this on PS3, but this looks way better. Star Trek Voyager, we saw that before. Now, Battle Pod for Star Wars. I'm stoked to dive into this. I've been looking for this for so long, I can't even begin to tell you guys. Storm Rider. Street Fighter. Got some more Street Fighter here. And these are going to be the best, like graphically, the best versions of these games too over here. Tank Tank. Target Terror Gold. Time Crisis 5. Tekken 7. Wow. Terminator Salvation, we talked about that one already. And the Act, I've heard, is really good. I've never played this, but I've heard good things. And what is this over here? Looks interesting. Tokyo Cop. Saw that one before. Some more Street Fighter in here. We're down to the last 10. Let's see what we've got in the last 10. Oh, going too fast. Virtua Tennis 4. Wacky Races. Oh, I've seen that cabinet. I've never played this. That looks pretty cool. Wow. All right. This looks good too. I mean, everything about this, like there's so many games that I haven't played yet, and I've been into emulation for a long time. I mean, this is a solid step up for me. Lots of great stuff here. All right, so we're gonna get out of this collection here. This is gonna be like a 4-hour video at this rate. So we've got gun apps here. So this is more so settings. You can go in here and customize your experience, enable crosshairs, disable crosshairs. You know, a lot of stuff for gun for IR in here. Lots of different things you could do with retro shooters. So I mean, tons and tons of great stuff to get into here in terms of customizing your experience or altering your experience. So we'll back out of that. And we are back over here to our last collection, which is Wii Light Gun, which I believe we went through all of these, but let me just double check. Yes, 48 games here. So just another way to dive into that. So I'm going to back out. And then this is how you'd want to power this off. So we've got a little clip here of, I believe that's Clint Eastwood, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Clint Eastwood there. So if you want to get out of this, now we've gone through literally everything that this offers. This is your shutdown button. This is how you're going to exit this, you know, in a way that's not going to corrupt anything or, you know, destroy your drive. So you're going to just simply go onto this and go ahead and hit your enter button, and it's going to bring you out to your main desktop within Windows. So that is everything. We've gone through literally everything that this has to offer. Now we got to jump in and test it out.
Action! 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 Action!
Sarah. Where's Sarah and Mia? They went to the laboratory. You can find them with this detector. Look out! Help! Good job.
this? What is this?
The mummies are moving!
All right, guys, we just jumped out of the Kris KoolMod 2TB RetroBeast light gun setup today. And I told you guys to strap in, buckle up, because it was going to be a long ride, and it definitely was. But I wanted to tour this and review it in a way that was very thorough and left no stones unturned, and I think I did that. We went through every single collection that is offered on this setup, even the stuff that's not light gun oriented. And I love everything that is offered here, everything that's included here. I really can't think of any light gun games that are not on this off the top of my head, or even any arcade games. I was blown away by what arcade games and how wide of an extent was gone to actually find MAME ROMs, because there's a lot of titles that I have not found in the several years that I've been retro gaming through emulation. And Gauntlet Legends for arcade and Gauntlet Legends Dark Legacy, those are some of the hardest ones to find, actually. Everything ran very well. I even tested out the stuff that wasn't light gun. I didn't include it here in this video because I think this video is long enough, in all honesty. But let's talk about the experience here. So first and foremost, layout of this setup. Very nicely put together. I'm not surprised, though. Kris KoolMod has done an amazing job on his other setups. He has a 96TB RetroBeast setup that's just insanely massive. And that setup was really well polished too, so he obviously puts his time in when he builds stuff like this. So I expected, nothing short of that, and I got a phenomenal result in the end here. So usually when I review game drives that are pre-configured, I won't say plug and play because I don't believe this is truly plug and play, and I'll talk about that momentarily. But anything that's kind of pre-configured and bundled together in an all-inclusive package, usually it's a sloppy mess. And I've been very vocal about that here on my channel anytime I review stuff like that, because usually stuff is thrown together in a way that you could tell the people just didn't give a damn. They just wanted to throw everything together as quickly as possible and get it out the door so they can make some money. That's not the case here. It's very nicely put together. It's easy to navigate. Everything looks visually appealing. You've got the logos on one side. You've got the video preview in the background. We've got box art or cover photos there. Just very nicely put together, so anybody scrolling through the game list can see exactly what it has to offer, and even see a video preview for the majority of the titles as well, which is a nice touch. Now, there's also background music. There's also audio for the videos and stuff. I brought down the volume or even muted it for the most part here in this video, just so I wasn't having to talk over, background music and whatnot. But altogether, it creates a really awesome experience to the point where it's just fun to scroll through things. Like, you don't even have to dive into the games. It's fun to just go down memory lane, seeing little clips of all these different games that I used to play in the arcade back in the day. It's just really fun to just kind of re-immerse yourself in all of this stuff. Now, I said that this isn't truly plug and play, and I don't think it's really advertised as plug and play, but I think that definitely can be confusing for some. So for me, plug and play with something like this is when you have a game drive, you plug it into your PC, you boot into it, and you can just take your controllers, connect them over, and dive straight into games. That's not the case here. You do need to download a bunch of drivers, but the download process is simplified, and it's much simpler than anything else that Kris KoolMod has put together in the past. Usually what you had to do is you had to open up a bunch of folders, download a bunch of different ROMs, and it took a really long time to set everything up. And you had to go through all these different folders, and if you missed one, then you were kind of SOL later on. You had to figure out, all right, what did I miss? And it was just a little bit tricky to, go through the installation process. Over here, you literally open up one thing and it takes you step by step down the line through all the different things that you need to download. So it's just really easy. It's in all honesty, idiot proof. And I know I seem like somebody that knows a lot about emulation, and I do, but I don't know a lot about this particular side of things. I know a lot about Batocera. I know a lot about what I've used in the past. Hyperspin over here isn't what I've used in the past, so it's very foreign to me. So going through the process, I went through it like anybody else would. And it took about 15 minutes or so. I took my time, though. I was reading through the wiki, which is basically his instruction manual that goes along with this, just to learn about it a little bit too. So I took my time and I was able to dive into everything, have a great experience in the end. Now, I tested this out 2 different ways. I tested it out with the retro shooter light guns, as well as the gun for IR, and I had a great experience on both sides. So now let's talk about the performance of the games here. Everything ran extremely well. I didn't find any games that didn't work. Except for, I will say this, there are a bunch of titles within Technoparrot that actually require that you have a Patreon subscription. I don't know much about Patreon, but I asked Kris KoolMod directly because I had a bunch of games that I wanted to dive into, and I was encountering an issue where I didn't have a specific code to unlock them. So I had to get a Patreon subscription. It's like $3 to $5 a month. I forget off the top of my head exactly what it is. I think it's actually $3 a month. And it gives you basically all of the games that you probably want to play in Technoparrot. There's quite a few that don't require that, like Far Cry was probably my favorite that didn't require that. But for like all the raw thrills ones, so like your Terminator, your Jurassic Park, what else? Your House of the Dead ones, stuff like that, you're going to have that Patreon subscription. But again, $3 a month and you get access to all these different games on here. It's really not a bad deal in the end, but it's not something that I realized until, I had it in front of me and realized I couldn't actually access those games. But I did get the subscription and I have full access to those, and Star Trek is in there as well. That's another great game for the Technoparrot collection. But yeah, I do want to make mention that you do need to have that extra little subscription to unlock the full potential of that individual collection, which, is a big one to have. It's definitely what really attracted me to this particular setup, because I've played a lot of the older stuff for Classic Arcade, obviously, and for the home consoles, but Technoparrot was something that was a little bit newer to me. So I was super excited about that. Great experience in the end. Everything is very easy to actually dive into. Some games you need to tweak the settings a little bit, or you need to tweak the mapping a little bit, but very easy to do. And all the instructions are provided right inside the drive. And another thing I want to mention is Kris KoolMod has a Discord, and his Discord is very active. He's got a great community in there, and you can ask questions and get answers really quickly. It's a great resource for anybody that gets into this stuff, whether you actually have one of his builds or not. There's just great information to find in there. So in the end, phenomenal experience. The setup here is just an incredible way to enjoy light gun gaming, but gaming of all types. And if you're somebody like me who's going to be, I'm actually planning to build a light gun arcade cabinet from, basically I'm modding a arcade 1-up and going to create this, all-inclusive sort of experience where I can dive into a wide range of light gun games, not just the one game that was included on the actual cabinet. This is an incredible setup for that, because you can do that and gain access to hundreds and hundreds of light gun games, but you also can get all the other arcade games out there that aren't light gun specific. So for me, I love Gauntlet Legends, I love Gauntlet Dark Legacy, I love Moonwalker, I love WrestleFest, and we have access to all of those included in here. And, they're not even highlighted. We're thinking this is just light gun. I was shocked to find that there were so many other games in here that went beyond that. And within Technoparrot, we have tons of racing games as well. So if you wanted to set up an ultimate gaming experience with racing games, light gun games, classic arcade games, this would be the one to do it with. This is just a phenomenal setup here. Very well put together. So I'm going to put a link up here at the top of your screen, as well as in the description of this video. If you're interested in what you saw today, click those links, get some additional information. And Kris KoolMod mentioned for the first 20 people that place an order after seeing this review video right here, you can send him a message directly through Discord and just use the code RETROGUYS. And he's going to give the first 20 people one of those Spider-Man Miles Morales hard drives, as opposed to just a regular hard drive. So they're really cool looking, and most importantly, they're high end. They're made by Seagate, who I absolutely love for gaming hard drives. They make really incredible products. So if you're interested, definitely take advantage of that offer. It's only for the first 20 people, I guess, that see this review video and end up, deciding to pull the trigger on it. So that's going to do it for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this video. If you're a light gun gaming fan, let me know what you thought of this amazing light gun setup and everything else that it offers as well. That's going to do it for today, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed the content today. And of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos right here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.